It is really broken. I'm going to have to fix this and get some screws. Let me open this first. This can be our sink. Ooh.
There you go. Right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time of day you're watching. This is Hellfire. This is our latest podcast, and we would like to welcome onto the Hellfire podcast, Jack Burney. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm doing really, really well, thanks. I had a bit of a muddy trek here, but we're here in one piece. I wasn't eating, I didn't fall over, so...
Didn't get
You're
lost in the
really
woods,
muddy.
though.
I didn't realise how muddy you are. You're actually really
know.
muddy.
It's okay. It's okay. I used to do camping and stuff, so we're used to it.
Yeah.
But we're doing good.
Ben's going to have to get the shaken back out after this. And
Oh, I know.
The cleaner's coming at like 1:30, so that'd be all good.
Oh, they're buzzing. There you go. Just it's perfect
Just
timing.
in time
Yeah.
for the muddy feet. They'll be really angry. They're the most aggressive cleaners. I love them to bits, but they are very aggressive.
Anyway, that's that out of the way. Jack, talk to us. What do you do in the film world? Who are you? Give our watchers some information.
So I'm a filmmaker, a writer, director, and editor, and I work during the day as a freelance video editor. So that means, I make videos for people, turn their footage into stories. I'm going to try and keep this mic somewhat in front of my face.
Keep it a bit lower.
Yeah, sorry. Look, it's not in front of your face. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. And it means that when oh my god, and it means that when I'm not doing that, I make my own films, short films, and now I'm leveling up into feature films. So,
Exciting times. We've
Yeah.
seen the crowdfunder Black Barrels. Talk to us
Yeah.
about Black Barrels. Me and you initially discussed this a while back.
Oh, yeah. If you
Yeah.
do watch the Black Barrels thing,
yeah, you might recognise a certain narration. That's
but
right.
Billy, right, so there's a running theme in this office that without fail, Billy will offer to present to every single one of our clients. Well, if you need a presenter, don't worry, I'll do it for you.
I mean, listen, like,
Shameless.
shy people getting out, isn't it? Right? So, right? Put yourself out there. You never know what's going to happen. The worst thing they say is no, which happens quite a lot. That's fine.
Every time.
Anyway, Jack, so talk to us about Black Barrels. Me and you discussed it last year, wasn't it? I think. But you've been
Yeah.
writing it for a long time, right?
Yeah, well, the idea has been floating around for ages. Because originally there was a short film funding opportunity probably 2 years ago. And I was going to do a black and white lighthouse style short film about fishermen and stuff, and also incorporate some folklore. And then that kind of fizzled and went away. And then last year, I just finished another feature script that I'd written, and I'd sort of decided, this is okay, but it's not my first feature.
Yeah.
And I think I just needed to write it. And then I just really got obsessed with witches and with scary things. So maybe 6 months later, I had a first draft of this script. And then 6 months after that, we have a refined draft. So, and now we're obviously into pre-production. So it's one of those where I think it's so weird for me that that first feature film script took me nearly 3 years to write.
Yeah.
And then my second one took me 6 months. So it's strange. I just knew I needed to get it out and get it finished.
And what was your process when you were writing? Did you do the synopsis first, or did you just start writing and develop the characters and see where you went from there? What was the process?
So I'm a big outliner. I can't just start on page one with no idea where I'm going.
Everyone has said that to me, and I tried to write a script, and I just got to page 35.
To be fair, you got
this
quite
is
far
going
in.
nowhere.
Yeah.
I have no idea what these people are doing. Right, end it. I just gave up.
Sometimes it can be a really good writing exercise, but then I think my brain isn't wired that way. So yeah, I started outlining it, and then it's probably 2 or 3 months of outlining at least, and then even then it's one of those things, as you'll know, the script is never done.
Yeah.
The outline is never done. You start writing scenes, and sometimes you will have an idea for how the scene is going to flow, and it just goes. So yeah, that's sort of how I do. I outline and then I script write, and then once I've got a first draft, and my thing as well is when I'm writing that first draft, I will not go back and review scenes and rewrite scenes. I have to finish the whole thing, and then I can go back, because otherwise you end up stuck on scene 5 forever.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know a friend of mine was editing a film. Well, actually, Dan. We both know Dan, right?
Yeah.
He got stuck on when he was doing the edit after the film had finished, and he got stuck on like one bit that he was obsessed with. And I had to say to him, Dan, when you actually finished the edit for the Grey Room, didn't you? That's
Yeah.
the thing. And I think possibly without you, it wouldn't have got to that point. I don't think so. there you
Oh
go.
well, yeah. Dan said that to me. It's very kind of him to say that. Yeah, I'd like to think that he could have finished. He would have finished it at some point, but
I don't think he would have.
yeah, we'll see.
Don't
But
think he would have.
he's finished it now, which is
Yes,
great.
yeah,
So
it is, yeah.
But that's sort of the same thing with the script. Is just got to keep going and get to a full draft, and then
Yeah, it's interesting because I've written features myself, as you know, and the first one I wrote, I had a rough idea of where I wanted to go, and then got stuck like halfway through. Knew what the ending was going to be, just didn't know how to get there,
Yeah.
and couldn't bridge. And it took me 3 years, as you say, to get to the end. And then the second one, I did exactly what you did, which was write the outline, and that's kind of the discussion we had, wasn't it? Write the outline, and then started to do the script. And it was interesting because when I'd done the outline and then started to write the script and was just flowing through it, every now and then I'd touch base again with the outline that I'd written. And I had deviated from that, but because I knew where I was going and I knew the journey it needed to go in, when I deviated, I could then come back into and kind of, it just flowed much, much easier than the first time I tried to write it.
yeah. No, I think, but I saw someone talk about this, that like that thing of just starting on page 1 and writing. It's called like discovery writing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. The outliners, all they do is they discovery write in smaller chunks. So it's sort of like they start a scene and it's like, okay, by the end of this scene, this character needs to have died.
Yeah.
And it's like, how exactly we're going to get there, I don't know. Or maybe, because you don't know the individual dialogue, and sometimes you start writing and it's like, oh, this is a big argument scene.
Yeah.
Like, and, it takes you there, but it's just in smaller gaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it, I can't write without an outline. I really struggle with it.
It's interesting to see what you say, because actually, when you said you gave up on that thing, you didn't. We then developed it into the conference.
Yeah, we took those characters and made them into a completely different film. But because those characters are kind of, we built these two characters and their friendship and their dialogue. I personally think it's the only time I've ever written something the dialogue's been good. But it was just taking stories from like funny jokes that I've had with you lot and like with my other mates and snowboarding trips and all those funny things that we say to each other, just take them, put them into these two characters, and then those two characters then became the leads in the feature that we're writing with Michael, which is about businessmen.
We won't go too much further into that. That's another point. That's a different podcast, that one. But in fairness, we sat and we outlined it, didn't we, on the whiteboard upstairs? We did a whole big outline. Yeah, you have, yeah. But we did a whole big outline on it, which then gave Michael a starting point to start writing from. And we were sort of developing characters as we go.
He's shown you both up because he did that in like 10 days. He's written the first draft.
Yeah.
I've not read
Fair
it.
play to him, yeah. I'm ready yet. I'm reading it tonight because I've seen it
Does it
tomorrow.
have big chunks in it that says like need to fill in here, or like
I don't think it
dialogue
does.
scene, argument scene?
I think he's just a really prolific writer. I haven't actually read the script yet, so I'm reading it tonight.
We're doing some sketches. We started to do this sketch show so we can all kind of keep our reps up then with their acting, me with my shooting and that. So he'll just go like, we'll give him an idea. Like, this is the idea I've had for a sketch. That's me in it. The idea. I've got an idea, and then he'll come back to me with in an hour later. Go, here's the script, and he's a fully formed script.
Yeah.
So he's like that kind of. His brain just works like that. But that's his full time job. Is writing and acting. So he's
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 in that
lazy.
zone.
He does nothing else. He just writes and sits there and pretends to be an actor.
So on that, talk to us a little bit more about Black Barrels. Talk about the story, about the history and stuff. You
Yeah,
said
as much
got
as you want to
sausage
give away,
witches and
obviously.
stuff, So
So this is something that like I realized doing research into the area, and back when I was doing that short film, Essex has this history of witch trials, and not being born and raised in Essex, I didn't know that, and I came here and it's like, oh my god, there's all this stuff, all these local legends, all these bits of little history.
See, Billy, Haunted Essex. It's a good documentary idea.
Well,
It's so easy to do.
Yeah, there's so much here.
There's you used to look up the Southend werewolf. Heard about
Oh
Southend?
yeah. I don't. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about that. But there is. But
There's a Southend werewolf.
But there's.
It was.
let's just say that there's references in the script to Bill Ramsey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
Nice.
is. If I guess should we give a brief, a very brief?
You
Okay.
give the briefest.
I have no idea what you two are talking about.
Mate, there's a guy who was claimed to be a werewolf, and he fought off like 6 police officers,
Yeah,
and like
just in Southend, and it's quite recent. There's like modern footage of him.
and
like,
the Warrens, like the Warrens that they
Ed and Lorraine Warren, yeah.
they did the Conjuring series is about the Warrens.
Okay.
It's very much not like the actual Warrens because they were an ugly, evil pair of like fakers mainly. By the end of it, they actually came to Southend to like investigate the Southend werewolf. So it's a big thing, but I only found out about it when I was doing because we did that because I used to do a conspiracy podcast. We were investigating the Warrens and doing like stuff on that, and that's when we found out about Southend werewolf.
yeah,
See, every day's a school day, right?
yeah.
I'm just learning loads.
This guy, yeah, he was crazy, and I mean, I don't think they ever really got to the bottom of what it was.
He ended up moving to Florida, I think, but he said he became like slightly famous.
I think he had to get exorcised or something. So I think I dare say he went to Rome to get an exorcism performed on him,
something like that, yeah.
and then it all sort of did go away. It was really really. It's one of these weird little bits of bit of local history that you're just like, what the hell? So that
It's in the news and everything.
Yeah. So there might be a reference to that in the film for people who watch it.
I don't know much about Black Barrels. I've seen the Kickstarters and stuff, and we've obviously spoken as well about other stuff, about crew and that. Is it set in modern day?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I should probably again. This is one of the things when you write working on it every day, you forget that like you haven't. People don't know. So it's
People can't read your mind. I'd like that all the time.
So it's it's set in the modern day, and it follows Theo, who is he's got crimes in his past that he's running from, and he moves to a remote coastal town. It's not named as Southend, but it might as well be. And he starts working at a local pub because let's just say he doesn't want to work around the water. This is a coastal town, and people are saying to him, just get a job as a fisherman, and he's like, no, I can't. But as he works more at this pub, he discovers that it is that hauntings and strange things happen there, and there's a very malevolent spirit there, and he's going on this journey with the other two, the bar manager and another bartender called Anna and Becca, so it's the little trio of them, and they go off and they get scared and things happen and things that I don't want to say happens.
Yeah.
Lots of gruesome stuff happens and lots of shocking moments.
So it's a horror. It's
like a horror thriller,
horror.
I mean, I've read the initial draft of the script.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's changed from when I originally read it. But I remember reading it, being like, "Wow, this is really, really cool." And obviously, we talked, didn't we? And I sort of, for whatever it's worth, gave my own sort of feedback on it and things like that and things. And I know that you've got other people involved, and Chris Robson, for example, is involved now.
He's actually reviewing it today.
Yeah.
So that's really good. We've had some meetings and that's been absolutely brilliant. I've got quite a few people to give feedback on that first draft, maybe second draft.
Always important to get feedback, isn't it?
It's because what I find is like that first draft is sort of it's mine, but it isn't. It's sort of, again, people call it the vomit pass, or sometimes I like to call it like the passion pass because I don't like saying vomit pass, but whatever. But like then people give you feedback, and then it's just like, oh, okay, that's it. Like things start to click into place, and you're like, this idea that actually I sort of knew I had. Yeah. Okay, that I just needed their feedback to tell me this and to put you straight as well, and just to be like, this makes absolutely no sense. Or this is too on the nose, or this is way too hidden, or whatever it is. So yeah, it's come a long way.
How do you find that process of people essentially telling you your work shit?
Well, luckily they're very kind, and they don't overtly say that.
Shit, or do they just go
you must like when someone goes, I like tells you something like, but I really like that bit, and you're like, oh, how do you feel about that?
I think it depends. It depends on the feedback. Sometimes you get a piece of feedback and you're like, you just didn't get it at all, and that's fine. But it's almost like, is she doing the who? No, sorry. It's almost like someone described it as like when you're ill and you go to the doctors and you say like, I've got a sore throat. I think I should have this medication. The doctor does like stops listening after they say, "I think I've got a sore throat."
Yeah.
They don't listen to the like, "You should do this."
Yeah.
Like, but when someone comes at you with feedback and said, "I was really confused in this point,"
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. It's when they start saying, "Oh, you should change this and you should do this," and that's when I get a little bit antsy.
That's what I tell all my trainees as well when it's come to crewing and stuff. So on set, if you've got an idea, keep it to yourself. Or come to your HOD and go, "I've got a suggestion like about something." Offer it up as a suggestion. Don't say you should do this.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've been on set and I've seen someone say to a director, "You should do this," and then was like, instantly,
No.
I'm not gonna listen.
Yeah. Sometimes there's that thing of
It's like, can I make a suggestion? And you go. Then you've got the director then has the option to go, yes, make that suggestion, or no, I don't want to hear it. Now's not the time.
Yeah.
I think offering up, you should do this, instantly puts you back up, right? You're like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, and I think it all depends on the relationship as well with like the person who you're getting feedback from, because I think that there's different ways of delivering feedback, isn't there? You know, and that's the thing, and it's often it is a case of like, without overstepping my mark, what if you were to try this and you put it in as a question rather than a you should?
Yeah.
And I think that's always a difference. Like, I think that, because I remember when Darren Kent was here, when he was editing one of my scripts that we were talking through and stuff like that, there was, me and him totally disagreed on the ending. Like, completely disagreed on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, mate, that just can't happen. He was like, no, but it was really good if this happened. I was like, no, it just can't happen. And we ended up, like, through talking it through, we came to it wasn't even a compromise, it was just a totally different ending to the one that I'd initially come up with, but it was miles better. And it wasn't what he suggested, it wasn't what I suggested, but between the two of us, because we both disagreed, we then went a completely different way, and it actually was better than the other two anyway. So I think that sometimes disagreements can be really good because they can really get your your creativity flowing, as it were.
Yeah, there's nothing more useless than getting a piece of sending your script off to someone and them just saying, "Yeah, it's great."
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
you're like,
You're not here to kiss my ass, tell me the truth.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
but what I do in my feedback is I give feedback and then I give suggestions as two separate lists.
Yeah.
So if they want to stop reading after feedback, that's absolutely fine.
That's a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
Just because, I just found that it leads to less arguments.
Yeah.
And then,
Do you know, the person who I always send my scripts to first is my mum.
Oh,
She's the harshest critic in the world. She's literally be like, "Guys, crap. Like, I don't like it. This bit doesn't make sense." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Like, genuinely.
Yeah,
My mum would be too nice. She'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so brilliant.
Yeah, no,
That's so
my mum.
clever."
Yes.
my parents are the harsh ones. They would, which is brilliant. But then I only like to show them the finished film, and then they go, "Oh, should have done this," and I'm like, not helpful.
My dad would be like, "How much money that cost? How much you make?"
Yeah.
They wouldn't even think about any of the story or anything.
Oh yeah. No, it's that's what family's for, isn't it? The harshest critics. It's brilliant.
Well, that's a nice segue actually that you're giving us into it. Obviously, we know making films costs money, and I'm sure that our listeners and our viewers will be sort of wondering where your funding is coming from, and if you've got any tips for people about raising funds and stuff like that and things. What did you say to that?
So it's this is a story, but it goes back into it. So I learned something years ago because I work freelance. It was never to have more than 20% of your income come from one client.
Yeah.
And when I was putting together the sort of funding strategy, I guess that makes it sound more sophisticated than it is. For this film, I was like, okay, like no more than 20% should come from one place, whether it be crowdfunding or an investor or my own pocket or whatever it is. So especially for a film like this, I mean, we're looking to raise £100,000. Like that's not a small amount of money. Yeah. But in terms of film, it's nowhere near even a low budget film. So it's we're hoping it's very, very achievable. But it's like we're using a mixture of things. We're doing crowdfunding. We're going to investors. Again, I'm going to be putting in some of my own money, but I'm not going to be funding the whole thing because no one. I don't think certainly I can't afford 100,000 just to. But it's that sort of thing. Going to different places, going to film grants, and even local businesses to see if even if they wouldn't be able to put in any money, if maybe a local restaurant or a local cafe could provide food and drink for a day, or something like that. Just something to relieve the cost.
Location or
this is and working with them sort of to be like, okay, if you can give us this location for free, we'll show like the shop front
Yeah.
at the start of the scene or something like that. So it's like it's that sort of thing. It's going to different sort of places, and
Your cast could have like sponsors, like a football team.
all
On the
their
t-shirts,
costumes.
could all have little logos on it. That's a good idea.
They
Write
like
that
take-
down.
they like
I'm
take-
making it of that.
Write that down. We'll do that.
That's quite yeah, on each of the costumes.
We're doing a football team film, and you can
and all the
sponsor.
that's actually that's if ever you're doing a sports film, it's something
Yeah.
where sponsors would normally be on the on the jerseys.
All the
That's-
sponsors are different though, so we get more
Yeah.
money.
But it's interesting. So, like, obviously, people talk about various different ways of funding. So you need to attract a name because therefore that's going to sell the film and things like that. So, have you got cast lined up that you think are going to sell the film that you're allowed to talk like that you've got letters of intent that you're allowed to talk about and things yet? Or
This is the next stage that we're at in the pre-production process. Like because at the end of February, which was only a few days ago, I finished a refined draft of the script and that's a draft that I'm happy to start sending out to cast and stuff. But we're putting together our pitch materials, like a sizzle deck, a sizzle reel, sorry, and a pitch deck and stuff like that. That we're going to start sending out to cast and stuff. But we are having meetings with casting directors and all that sort of stuff soon. I mean, we're on the fence about putting it out on things like Mandy and Backstage because, like, the whole point of the film almost is to use the people we know here in Essex. Because
well, in
the
that
film
case,
is,
then, Jack.
but it's like
Really, as if you haven't already put yourself forward for at least 4 of the roles.
I've got you down penciled in for like I think even some of the female roles as well.
That's it, there you go. I just let my hair down.
He's already said in his
That's
self
why I'm
tapes.
growing my hair long. You know, I knew
It's a
this.
one-man film, isn't it? It's you're playing every role.
Eddie Murphy.
Can you imagine? Brilliant. Sorry, I interrupted.
Billy
Carry on.
Barrels.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. But because the film's story is so based in Essex, you know, we want to get as many cast and crew from Essex and from the area. And we're already using things like EFC and obviously talking to Lily and stuff, and you know, get messages all the time from people just being like, "Oh, I'd really like to get involved" and stuff, and that's brilliant. So we're sort of a bit like, there might not be any benefit to putting it out on the big casting sites because then you just get 500 of people
You'll
who
get
God,
just
and the rest,
so
you'll
many
get
people.
thousands.
because
You'll get
it's a
thousands.
paid feature and it's you know it's like oh yeah it's going to be a lot and
Yeah.
and there might be someone brilliant but it's you know it's a lot to comb through and
My friend Michael said his last feature film, he put out some roles on Spotlight. He had 10,000 applications.
jeez.
And the thing is, you can't sort through that many. You don't have
No.
the time or the capacity unless you've got a whole massive team of people.
Yeah, you
working
need
on
some
it.
assistance to go
Yeah.
through that and then
And that's the thing. So, you know, look, don't get me wrong, I'm on those sites, so I know
Mm.
they're beneficial, but it's really hard. And, you know, there are so many actors out there that actually we know from casting our own stuff that you want to work with people you trust.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's important as well, isn't it?
And it's people that just it's not just whether they're a good actor or not, it's whether they would fit with you as a director or a crew. And it's whether or not they're gonna fucking show up.
yeah
Like that's just you just got because you've got to trust that person who's going to show up on the day. If you don't know them and they're coming from Winchester,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, they might go, oh, actually, it's only £100. I'm
Yeah.
not fucking going. And then you
Yeah.
go, and they're just too, like, how many times have we had crew just not show up?
Mate, I've had it before.
Yeah.
My first ever, the first ever feature I got cast in years and years ago, when I was very, very first started getting back into acting. So we're talking like 7-8 years ago now. I went to this pub in Romford, and my missus had booked for us to go away for the weekend, and I was like, I'm really sorry, I can't go. I've
Yeah.
got a thing, and she was like, okay, fine. So she went and met with her friends down in Southampton. I went to this pub in Romford, and the guy who my scene was supposed to be with didn't turn up.
oh my god
Because it was a no, like low/no paid thing.
Yeah.
And the guy who my scene was with didn't turn up. And when the director rang and was like, look, why are you not here? He was like, oh, I just don't feel very well. And he went, are you coming? He went, no. He was like,
wow
what? And you didn't think to say anything to anyone? Oh, well, I've been in bed. And so I'd stayed there all day, right? Obviously waiting for my scene to be filmed. Then the guy was like, I'm really sorry, Bill. Like, we can't do your scene without this guy. They tried ringing round to some other actors to see if they could come in, but then it was
On the day.
On the day, like they're not going to know the lines. They don't know like the
Yeah.
scene. Like that's not going to work, is it? So I ended up leaving the set at 4 o'clock, having done no filming at all, and then drove down to Southampton for the weekend away that I was supposed to be having with my wife.
Oh my God.
It was a real experience about actually what it takes to put together a film and how just one person can just like let you down. You know what I mean? Like,
One person could just ruin a film, like a sound guy who can ruin a film.
Ben's had a bad experience with a sound guy.
Oh.
The first short we did as Hellfire, sound guy was like came in here. I've been doing it 25 years, and then he fucked up the whole thing.
Oh, I hate. Yeah.
The whole thing. And I'd say, I think I said it on every podcast. He just has to bring it up. His name's Mark. Never worked with him.
You can't do that.
I can.
Well, you just did, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So look, filmmaking's tough. We know that, right? We know that. We're not trying to scare you, by the way.
That's the thing. I've done the shorts, so it's like, you know, and
You've seen you've been on with all the art sets and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. Yeah.
so it's but that's the thing. Sometimes I think, and I don't, because actors have it difficult. Of course they do, because they have the pressure of they have to perform. But it's like I feel
Actors have the easiest job in the world.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm glad,
but
I'm glad
without-
you said that. Having never been in front of camera, I can't
Listen,
say
I
that.
disagree with you. I think without the performance, you've got no film, though.
Yeah, true. But what
So
I would
that
say is
it's-
this:
it is
but an
right,
actor's
you're
job,
right, it needs the pressure.
but an actor's job is to turn up, and know your lines, know your lines, and turn up on time. Like, that's
the
your
director
job.
will
Like,
do the rest.
yeah, right. Because the thing is, like, as an actor, like, I know what you're saying about actually you bring the performance, and you're right, you do. But sometimes you can't always blame a bad performance on an actor.
No.
Because if the director's not giving them any feedback, like I've been on sets before where I've done a take, and the director hasn't said anything to me, and I go,
That's great.
Anything you want me to do differently? And they go,
Yeah.
no, you're fine. And you have to trust them. That's you
But
have to have your trust in them.
on the flip side of that, sometimes an actor will do a take and you think, yeah, that was brilliant, but we need to do it again from obviously a different angle.
Yeah.
And then the actor will say to you, like, well, do you want me to do anything differently? And you're like, not really. Because it's like,
Yeah.
we now, you know, you've got the performance there. It's annoyingly a case of...
Yeah.
Like-
but that's communication, isn't it? It's like we have to
Yeah.
go again because of a focus buzz or
Yeah.
something like that. I've been on sets and with you actually, and I'm not going to say which one it is, but we've been on sets and it's like someone will go, great, that's great, we're going to go again, and then not say anything to it. And this happens so many times. I've been working with directors and they go, that's great, we're going to go again, and not explain to anyone
why.
Yeah.
why he wants to go again. And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, it drops morale big time because it's like, what? Wait, was it us? Was it camera department? Was it sound?
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah.
performance? Like, and no one knows what's gone wrong, but we're going again. But that performance isn't going to be as good because no one knows what they did wrong or what was right
And then
about it.
Yeah, I suppose then you become a bit tentative, don't you? So it's really like, you know,
It's great, we're going again.
communication is a massive part of filmmaking, right?
Well, that's. I think it was Tarantino who said it, or I don't know who it was, but like, they just said all really being all a director is being able to make decisions and articulate them.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need to know very much. Like this is I've become a bit of a crap crew member now because I've almost like because I don't really know about cameras. I know about photography cameras and I know like the basics, but I don't really know how to operate a camera. I don't have any of the kit of being like a runner or anything. I'm a pretty crap runner. Because it's like you know, you be on set and you see things that you just like. Again, this is the making suggestions thing. Oh, maybe we could change that, and oh, that's a bit distracting in the background. That's a bit that. That's a bit that. It's like you have to really go like, no, turn that part of your brain off because, again, there are people here to do that job. And going back to the thing about the actors, like everyone is connected, and it's like that was actually what I was leading to with that. It's like everyone on a set and in a film production is connected. So it's like one actor doesn't show up for one day and that just ripples out to the entire production and certainly everyone on that set. And, you know, even almost like a miscast or a miss like crude, I guess, someone who's in the wrong role can just ripple out into the entire production.
You were on Ashland with us on that first day, and let's be perfectly honest, Ben saved the shoot because we had, not miscast. We had miscrewed. Is that the
Yeah.
right word? Yeah.
Yeah,
We just got
I-
the wrong people in the crew that were and the job wasn't being done as we had hoped it would be, and we were
Well, it
all
wasn't
kind of
being
looking
done,
at each
was
other.
it?
Well, we were all looking at each other, weren't we? And sort of going,
I still just wish that I could have just sat in that room and pulled focus. That's all I wanted to do that day. It haunts me. So I ended up having to do the rest of the film.
mate, don't make it sound as though it's chore. You've enjoyed every second of it.
I enjoyed every second of it. You're absolutely right.
But you obviously you were on with us on that shoot and stuff like that, and you did some great stills on that day as well, and DIT at the same time as well.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that was what I'm like. I struggle to be a runner. I almost need something just to do. Like, and I know there was plenty of stuff to do as a runner, but it was like, I because I haven't done running on really professional shoots. It's like I don't have the tape. I don't have all the kit that you sort of need with you as a runner. That you know
You don't need tape as a runner, mate. If anyone's making you bring tape as a runner, you can tell them to fuck off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, a runner is more. You're there. You're helping the producers and you're helping the production. Like, you go get coffees. You make sure that everyone's like, you can walk around, make sure it's tidy, things like that. If they're asking you to bring tape, then you're more in camera training kind of territory.
Yeah.
Like maybe a spark, and it's and that shouldn't be on you as that kind of level coming onto a set. If they're asking you to bring tape with you, that's a production expense.
See, that's really interesting, because that sounds right. But it's so funny. People to give you all this advice. Like, as a runner, you should have your big box of things and your tape and your pens and your blah 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 and all this sort of stuff.
I'd say that's poor production manager if you're going to do anything.
That
The problem with filmmaking is that it's very easy for someone to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Because some people think that being on a film set is a privilege. It's not, it's a job, right? Sometimes, what a privilege on a film set would be, say Martin Scorsese went, do you want to come and, like, I've seen you working, do you want to come and shadow me? That then becomes a privilege, because someone is offering you their experience that you can learn from, but you're still getting paid. People feel like they can put a job on Mandy for no pay and expect, like, I'd as a DP, I'd come do a film for free because it helps me.
Yeah.
I get something out of that. I get a film that I believe in will give me the next step up to do another film that I think this is good. I don't think a
I wish
runner.
you had said that before.
I did so much. For that. I did so much on that job for free.
He's done so much on it. I'm not even lying. Yeah, he has.
Right. So, like, Black Barrels, for instance, if you went, Ben, do you want to DP it? We haven't got any money, but
yeah.
I'll do it for free. I'll go. Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. It's local. I'm not traveling. I'm gonna. What can we get out of it? You know, what will I get out of it, or do I get something out the back? Like that thing. I go. Yeah, okay, that would be a reason to do it for free. But if I was a runner and you want to come and run on this job for free, I go, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because I don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I get maybe a bit of experience, but essentially I'm getting people teased or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're going to get out of it, because you do get experience, but what's the experience of being a runner?
I think it depends upon what stage in your career you're at.
If it's your first job, yeah.
So when I first got, well, obviously, look, I turned professional 20 years ago, right? But
Turned professional.
yeah,
He's got
yeah,
a certificate.
Yeah,
He's got a
I have,
certificate.
yes. But I then had a massive hiatus from the industry. So obviously, when I was starting out again, back in 2018, properly, like, I realised that I was going to have to take jobs that were low and no paid because I'm starting out again, and all the work I'd done previous to that, it didn't matter because I'd been 10 years out of the industry and no one knew who I was anymore. So I think that there is a place for it. I've done student films,
But then
I've done stuff
think
for
about it
free,
this way,
but
right?
now I wouldn't.
But people pay for showreel scenes, right?
Yeah, true.
They
true.
pay for showreel
Yeah.
scenes. So essentially, when you do a low, no paid acting job,
Yeah.
you're essentially getting
A showreel.
a showreel for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, you go, okay, well, what would I have paid to build up my showreel scene? What for a showreel scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I'm only getting 100 quid, but actually it saved me 350 quid because the showreel scene would have been 450 quid.
I mean,
That's a way of looking at it to make it kind of make
I've
sense.
done feature films for less than I've done for shorts.
Yeah.
I've done feature films that have paid me like 50 quid. I've done
Same.
feature films that have paid me 100 quid.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be on that set doing that feature film because I knew that it was going to be good for me. And I know it sounds selfish, but it's not. You know what I mean? Because you're getting the experience of being on set. You're getting the experience of working with, like, you know, for me, I was really lucky. I got to work with some really big names, and I didn't get paid an exorbitant. As I say, I got paid like 100 quid, but it was brilliant to be in that room at that time. And like, you know, it's the song from Hamilton, isn't it? Like, you have to be in the room where it happens. And if I wasn't in that room since then, you know, we've had some really exciting conversations with people about doing other projects. And that happens because we met on that set.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I do think there is a place for free, low, no budget stuff. I do think there is a place for it. I think that everyone has to make their own decisions, though.
Exactly.
But I also disagree. I think that, like, after 16 years working in a classroom, being on a film set is a privilege.
It's not, though. It's a bad way. It's a bad way of looking at it, right? You can feel privileged to be there.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't say to someone else, right? This is my argument. It's not. You can feel privileged to be there. I feel like, you know, when someone asks me to DP something, I'm like I feel proud.
Yeah.
Or like that, and I feel privileged that I've been given this, like, someone's script or some director's gone, you're the one I want for my vision, which is amazing, and I feel, you know, that's great. But what the other side of it is, if you should feel privileged to be here. You're on a film set. No, that's when people get exploited, and that's when people say to you, "Oh, well, you're a runner. You need to bring rolls of tape. You need to bring some pens. You need
At your own expense.
At your own expense." It's like, no, that's a production cost.
Yeah.
But I bring my tapes everywhere because I know that no one's going to have what I need.
Yeah.
But everything I use, I'll then go, well, actually, you got to give me 50. I've got 50 quid consumables for today because I actually used loads of my stuff because you didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between, like, I think that when I'm saying it's a privilege, like, I love being on set. That's what I mean by
But you
that.
feel
Like,
privileged.
I feel privileged.
It's
to
not
be
a
on
privilege.
Set. Yeah,
You feel privileged.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You know, what I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, we've all worked hard to get to where we are. We've all invested in our craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether that be as a writer, as an editor, as a DOP,
You'll
as an
continue
actor,
to invest,
and you
right?
continue to invest in your craft, and that's the thing, isn't it? So I suppose when I say it, I feel privileged to be on set, or I feel it's a privilege. I don't know. I suppose because I enjoy it, and because I enjoy it, and I love doing what I do, whether that be as a producer or as an actor or as a writer. I find that a privilege because if someone had said to me when I was younger, "You will love your job," well, you can't ask for any more than that, right?
That's got to be it, right? Like so many people don't like their job.
Yeah.
And, you know, to them it's going to work. It's the grind that allows them to go out on weekends or to, you know, they do that 8 hours a day so they can live for 2 hours in the evening or whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that we get to go to set or work on stuff that's hopefully creatively fulfilling, although we all know that it isn't always.
Nope.
And, you know, we get to do these amazing things, and I think it's because the end product is quote unquote glamorous.
Yeah.
People look at it and think, "Oh wow, that must be amazing."
Yeah, they don't see the 4 a.m. starts. They don't see the
when people
loading
are
out there.
shivering in a car park.
Yeah, they
like,
don't see if you're filming on the beach in December. It's going to be like absolutely freezing cold. Yeah.
They see the end product and they see the premieres and the stuff like that, and they see the red carpets and they see that and they go, "Oh wow, it must be so
They don't
glamorous."
see the shit catering. They don't see the waiting 6 hours after everyone else has left because one of the cards has died and you have to try and recover it. They don't see that, and
they don't need to. You know, I don't think that, because it's like there's that with every job. Like, I think there is a I think it exists in every industry, but this thing of the film industry is different to every industry out there. Every industry will say it's unique. There's nothing else like it, and I think the film is true in some sense, but it's still, there's still, you know, stuff that we don't want to show people and that people have massive misconceptions about.
Yeah.
And it's but again, it's the whole thing of, I personally, and you know, I think we're all three of us in agreement, like, we enjoy it so much that we put up with it.
There's plenty of stuff I would change, but it wouldn't stop me doing it. That's the best way to put it. You know what I mean? There's plenty of stuff I would change about the industry, but I wouldn't stop doing it because I fucking love it. It's
better than selling insurance, isn't it?
So yeah,
100%. Is that, I mean, and you know, every job's different. I think what I love about it, I know we get on this, is the fact that from 1 week to the next, you're in a whole new family of people that, you know, working together to get the product finished. And it's like, whether it's a short film or a corporate or just a commercial for one day. You're meeting new people all the time. You're learning from those people, and there's not a lot of jobs where you get to meet that many new people every day. Where you're in a different team of people.
Yeah.
From week to week or month to month, you're in a different team of people. Like obviously you have collaborators that you stick with. Like you have your crew. Like I've got my AC and I've got my gaffer that I'll always have. Well, when I can afford it, and I'm not doing it all on my own. But like, you know what I mean? It's like I've got a team of people that I know I can rely on to bring in. But sometimes you need to go and you do it with someone else. And you go, I learned that today. I got that from them. Or fuck me, I'm not gonna do that with them people again. They're fucking mental.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So,
But I think that's what we were lucky enough to be in a meeting a few weeks back with a friend of ours who has made 4 or 5 feature films already, and like he paid us a really big compliment, didn't he, with the way that he was talking about wanting to work with us again and stuff. And that's the sort of stuff that makes it really worthwhile when you go, wow, do you know what, that's really cool, we're doing the right things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then a week later, my friend that I really trust their opinion and stuff really slated the work we've done. I was like, thanks mate, you're meant to be my friend. It's like, fucking hell, I thought it was quite good.
Sometimes that is how it works though, isn't it? Your best friends sometimes will go, you could have done a lot better there.
I think that's pretty much what it is. Like, this is not your best work. I was like, I think it's quite good. No. Well, okay. No, you're wrong. It's crap. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I wrote that one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I get to meet him on Friday. Bring it on, let's go. But anyway, let's get back to Black Barrels, because we've talked kind of all around the subject and stuff like that. So whereabouts are you with the project right now?
So at the moment, we're actively looking for funds, actively looking to raise the budget. We're in early pre-production, so we're going to be opening our casting calls very soon, and we've been very lucky that we've had lots of responses about crewing and stuff. Obviously, you guys have been in touch. Over the next month, that's when we're going to be reviewing all of that. So if people are watching who have sent me a message, I'm not ignoring you. We want to review them.
I told you I wasn't ignoring you.
That's why Ben got me in today, because he wanted to ask me to my face. Like, have you been ignoring?
What the fuck is my?
Have you been ignoring my emails?
I need my. He's just gonna sign it. Say I'm starting on the film.
But I can see the contracts over there actually. But yeah, I haven't been ignoring anyone. We want to review them all together, and then so that's really good.
Look, as we've said, it's important you get the right people in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it's going to be a long. How many days are you thinking of shooting for?
25.
25 days.
25 lean, mean.
Straight
extreme days.
You're gonna go straight.
No, not all at once. We're gonna do different blocks, because I can't work. I can't work for a month straight. Yeah. Potentially 12, 16-hour days.
Luckily, it's in Southend, so you've got more chance of getting people to do that kind of thing, though. Essex? Because if you get Essex crew, people aren't travelling to London to a studio every day. They're going to be more than happy to go, let's just do blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 days, that's ambitious. How many pages is it?
113. So it's about 5 days a day. Yeah, it's going to be...
That's good.
Well,
I'll tell you what, I've done 18 pages in a day once.
Well, I did...
It was fucking hard.
I did a short film, first film after uni. It was called Riverboat, and that was, I think, 21 pages in a day. Admittedly...
How many locations, though?
One location, and I think 10 pages were one argument. Okay. So it was like it's doable, but that's that again.
That's
it's one
intense though, right?
That was, I mean that was a long day.
I mean, like people watching this who aren't really necessarily aware of the filming process and stuff. Like, 4 or 5 pages a day is like
depending on what it is. Like, if it's like a back and forth, you can go up to 8 maybe.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think what is it? The average for a blockbuster is like less than 3 or something a day. Which is like, it's crazy to think that, but they've got, it's. Yeah. So I think
5 pages a day is quite nice.
Well, I remember when we did Ashland, it was only 12 pages, and I said then, like, we're going to do 4 pages a day, and like you were like, but like.
Yeah, I think.
It was a bit more involvement in that.
I didn't really know much about it until after we already started production. But I think we probably should have. Going back to Ashland, it would have been nice to have another day on the warehouse stuff.
Yeah, but that was down to budget.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And as is the case with yourself, everything is dependent upon budget, isn't it? Because like everyone wants that extra day, extra 2 days, but though those extra days on a feature, for example, that might cost you an extra 10 grand.
Yeah,
on a short, it would have cost us probably an extra maybe £1,500. which we just didn't have, and you'll find this out when it comes to shooting. That's the things that the people don't realize, because it's not just about the time. It's about, and it's not just about one person's time. You've got to consider everything involved in that. So the equipment, the people that are on set, the actors, the crew, the food, like everything like that, the location, if obviously you're hiring a location and things, it all adds up, and it does.
I think that's why obviously being on a film set can be quite ruthless sometimes, because it's almost like, well, if the car breaks down and that's an extra hour, when you've got a DP on 800 quid a day, it's like that extra hour is like that's just quite a lot of money that's just going where they're just sat around waiting doing nothing. But it's the bizarre thing of filmmaking. I think I heard it in a behind the scenes, I can't remember what film it was, where it was hurry up and wait around. It was like there's all this getting together and hustle and bustle, and it's so chaotic, and then sometimes you get on set and it's like you've got to wait around for 4 hours.
You've got to wait for the cloud cover.
Yeah, or whatever. Any little thing, aeroplanes pass by. Or
oh God, aeroplanes are the bane of filmmakers' life. I say it time and time again.
When we did War of Birds, me and Dan Keeble, we went to the location on the day and time the week before we were meant to be filming. So we were like, nothing's going to change between now and this Monday and next Monday. Nothing's going to change. It's exactly the same time of day. And we're like, there's no sound, there's no planes, there's no like motorbikes, like there's no drilling. We're in the middle of nowhere, it's fine. We got to set, there was like, they must have had an air show on around the corner. It was just planes like every 20 minutes, like, fuck's sake. You can never unless you've got a location manager going, actually, I've just searched and on this day there's going to be an air show. You don't have that you don't have that luxury of having someone that can do it if you're doing these things all self-contained.
When we did the Grey Room, when we filmed the Grey Room, now bear in mind it was supposed to be set like 3 miles underground, and there was something had gone wrong, and they diverted the flight paths for Stansted, and there was a plane every 30 seconds. So we were literally filming in 20-second bursts.
That's
and the
amazing.
Sound guy, oh my God, everyone was getting so pissed off of him. And because by this time as well, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we've been filming since 10 in the morning. Ooh. So we've gone 10 till 1 in the morning. Yeah, right. The days are insane. And
I would have walked.
Well, this is the point. And he was going, guys, I'm sorry, but I can't do anything about it.
You're not going to thank me in post.
Yeah, exactly. I could say, just go ahead, but it's going to wreck your film. What do you want me to do? And so we had to just literally go, stop. Yeah.
Come do it on day. Surely this must be easier, right?
Yeah. I mean,
let's just call the day.
Did it add to the feel? Because that film is the 4 of you have been in that room for
to be fair,
however many weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't help the American accents though, did it?
I'm going to make no comment on the accents in the film. I think everyone did an absolutely brilliant job.
Billy's is the only one that's consistent.
As I say, Ben doesn't rate my accent,
Yeah, and Billy's is. I always laugh at your American accent, but it was the only one that didn't go back to English.
At varying points.
Yeah, where they can't, you're the only one who can swear in an American accent.
I think, it's really hard when you're doing an accent and you have to keep the accent up all the time, especially when you don't have a script supervisor or someone like that who is coming back to you and who is saying, look, this bit here, you kind of slipped, so just be aware of that. And when you're doing it yourself as an actor, it's really hard. So I will defend my fellow
Did you do the accent between takes?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh. He did South African one in between takes to throw people off.
Just to mess people.
Yeah. I didn't, but my process has always been when I step away from set, I come out of character because I have to differentiate me and the performance.
Yeah,
that's just my process. Yeah, absolutely it does. Yeah, but that's just but some people stayed in character the whole way through. Some of the actors on set just did stay in character because that was what they wanted to do.
People with mixed accents.
But again, like I say, if you're not getting feedback on it at the time,
I don't blame the actors. I think it's just one of those things.
I heard a similar thing that was about not blaming the actors. If the performances in a film are really varied, or even if they're consistently low, it's probably a director. But if they're all really consistently high, you look at something like a Tarantino film. I mean, people are certainly, I think, the performances in that, even if you think, I didn't know they were a very good actor, but they're really good in this.
Yeah.
You think it's because Tarantino. I mean, I have mixed thoughts about him, but he's a great director, and he knows what he's doing. So it's like it's that sort of thing where if the performances are just all over the place, it's like probably not the actor.
But this is the thing, like, and it annoys me when people go, "Oh, he's a rubbish actor" or whatever. And it's like, is he or is she? Like, because like Sandra Bullock got bashed for years, right? She's a rubbish actress.
Congeniality is sick, and Speed is sick.
But you know what? Like when she did The Blind Side, incredible. Right? Mate, it's an amazing film.
Never seen it.
But she got bashed for years. Oh, she's just a pretty face. But she wasn't. She's a brilliant actress.
You just said she's ugly.
No, I didn't.
You said she isn't. She's just a pretty face. She isn't.
No, I didn't mean that. Obviously. I mean, she is a very pretty girl, but she's also a phenomenal actress. But Hugh Grant the same. Like people typecast Hugh Grant.
Well, Hugh Grant typecast himself.
Yeah, sure.
He did the same role for 20 years, then suddenly when he did The Gentleman, where he's amazing.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he just went, what?
Do you not rate his Oompa Loompa?
He's pretty good as an Oompa Loompa as well. He's really good as an Oompa Loompa.
But again, I think that Danny Dyer said it best. Danny Dyer has played the same character in everything he does pretty much.
I bloody love UFOs.
But he said he's a working actor. He's a jobbing actor. And so, like, look, if someone wants to typecast me in something and everything they do, fine. If it pays the bills, it pays the bills. Yeah, that's fine. But I think that it's great if you get a variety of roles to show your diversity. But I do think sometimes actors get a bit hung up on, I have to show my diversity. Do the role you're paid to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do the role you're paid to do. If someone wants to pay you 10 films in a row and it's a similar character,
well, no, I guess that's their choice if they want. But that's the actor's choice. You can either be working all the time and do the same thing, or you can pick and choose your roles. It's like you can be whatever you want to be. The same with any kind of crew. It's like, I only want to work on features, but it's like. Yeah, but do you want to be working the whole time? There's no features at the moment, really. Like, there's independence, but there's so many strikes and stuff. If you want to do your job, you have to do the other shit.
Yeah. And I suppose you as an editor must have that as well. There's different things you have to do.
It's feast or famine. And sometimes it really is, which is why, you need to have a variety of clients and a variety of work types. So, like, film work, client work, corporate work, which is, like business internal business videos, which are
so boring.
We do a lot of corporate stuff at the moment. Yeah. Which we're not complaining about. It pays the bills at the end of the day.
And that's the thing, because it's like
this stuff.
Yeah. So it's having a variety. Whereas that's, I guess maybe that's the thing about, like, sometimes over specializing or like just becoming too focused on a niche is like when that niche falls away, it's you can end up with no work for 6 months. It's crazy. But it's that's why we've got to keep busy, because lots of different types of projects. So.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up now. Jack, just tell everyone, what can they do to help you and support with Black Barrels?
So I guess the biggest thing is, like and follow on social media. It's Black Barrels Film pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Instagram. We're even on TikTok and stuff now, believe it or not. Like and follow, share it amongst people, and all the links to any crowdfunding, if you are feeling really generous, that is all in our bios. It is greenlit.com/projects/Black Barrels.
That's silly that they put that projects in there.
I know it really messes with with saying the URL, but it's but that's it.
And even giving a follow on social media really helps.
Really helps.
When you're trying to go to a funder and say, look, I've already got 15,000 followers, for example, they're going to go, wow, there's already an audience for this film.
Yeah,
and it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, it makes them more likely to invest, and therefore obviously more likely that you would then see the film when it comes out and enjoy it, and hopefully get really scared by it. Because I've filled the script with things that scare me and things that people have told me scare them. So I've had some good feedback saying, nice. Oh my God, I can't believe you've put this in there. So hopefully look forward to showing you it very soon.
We're excited.
We'll get you back on when it comes out.
Absolutely.
In about 5 years, when I'm grey, and I'm like out to here because, or I'm ridiculous, or I've gone really skinny because
you can't afford to eat.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you put all your money into the film. Yeah.
Transfer to a diet of alcohol and cigarettes and stuff. Like that'll be me.
The best way to get through.
That'll be me in 3 years.
I don't smoke, but when I'm on set, I just have to have cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't smoke at all, and on set I smoked like 20 fags on Ashland because I was like, I need to get out and just put some death in my body just to kind of get through the next couple of hours. Because I'm just getting stressed out.
So we'll see when I come back which route I've decided
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go
yeah,
down.
it'll be
He'll have green, yellow teeth and like no
Pale, spotty
but
skin.
same clothes. They'd be all like baggy clothes, like going, oh god, covered in mud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Quite right. And grey hairs. Obviously.
Yeah.
What a way to finish it. Well, there you go. Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Jack,
for watching.
thanks for
Thanks.
coming.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, man. Perfect.
Cheers.
Amazing.